Some of you have been asking about our dairy calves we had. Ella and Alivia. This wider colored little Holstein is Ella. And this is Alivia here. And they're doing really well. They were born back in September, so this is March. So what's that make them? About 6 months old. And they're coming on real good. Both of them's going to have horns, and I knew this back earlier, and I should have took care of those horns early if I was going to take care of them. I may just leave the horns on them now. If not, I'll take them off next fall. I like to take the horns off when it's cold weather, so that you don't have to worry about the flies, because they bleed some and stuff, and the flies can get eggs laid in there. This little black heifer here is just one that she's actually a little over a year old now. She was one that we weaned last fall and going to keep for a replacement heifer. And anyways, you can tell she's pretty good size. But for them to only be 6 months old and this one to be about 14 months old, I think they're coming along pretty good. And considering this one's got twice as much age. Of course, Holstein stuff has big frames. And anyway, I'm going to try to keep these away from the bull until they're at least a year old. May wait till they're about 2 years old before we breed them. Let them really get growing. But sometimes here, if you're a farmer or rancher, sometimes you don't have a lot of control over that. You can try to keep your animals up and away from the bull, and sometimes it does very little good. I've had them get over to the bull and before, and maybe they just there for a little bit, and you think, hey, they were just right in there, I don't even see the bull around them, they're probably all right. And lo and behold, in 9 months they'll be giving birth. And if you're wondering why I wait on my heifers to breed them later, they're still growing. And you know, these of course at 6 months old are really growing, but even when you wean them for a year, for a couple of years, they're still growing. And I like to get as much growth as I can on them. I have a lot of them here that, like last year, I went ahead and turned them in, and a lot of them bred, and they're having babies now, and they're doing fine. But they were like about 18 months to 2 years old, and that's fine. If you do that, that's no problem. But if you let them get much earlier than that, then you got problems. But if you wait till they're about 2 year old, it seems like, then they're almost 3 year old when they have a baby, and they're more developed, and it seems like they'll breed back pretty quick. Where if you don't, they seem like sometimes they'll skip a year on breeding back. They're kind of slow to breed back. But anyway, I put some feed out here. I feed these every day, and the other little heifers have wandered off here. But they're coming up here now, so maybe they'll hurry up and get up here before Ella and Alivia and this little heifer here. I don't have a name. You know, I tell you don't name your animals, but sometimes there's a name that will catch, and then that's what Foxy? No. My little dog, he thinks he's got to herd them back, that they're doing something wrong. Guy, I said no. You leave them alone. Come on, babies. Sook, 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 sook. No. No. Foxy, no. That dog was born to herd cattle, and he thinks that he's got to get in here and help me, even though I ain't asked for his help today. But there they come in here. I got 13 altogether. One of these, this big old one with the purple tag, is actually my son's, and he kept for a little heifer, and she's actually old enough right now that she could be turned out with the bull, probably, but I'm keeping her here with these others, letting her grow just a little bit more. But anyway, they're all coming along. There's 13 in this pen, counting the 2 dairy calves. I try to keep 10 of my best heifers each year, and this is what I kept back this year. Some of you looking at them might say, well, those ain't that great of looking animals, but they're the best I had with what I got to work with, and I like them. I think they're coming along pretty good. There was some of these, couple of these was born kind of late last year, and I normally don't keep the late born ones, but they were out of really good mamas, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and keep them this time because their mamas are getting old. A couple of them, their moms are kind of old, and I was like, I'm gonna have to sell the mama. And lo and behold, they had a heifer, so I was like, I'll keep the heifer and keep that good offspring coming. This one right here, this little 707, she is really growing and turning out pretty. And look at her neck there, how pretty. She is just really slicking off and looking good. They're starting to lose their winter hair coats, and you'll notice sometimes they'll rub up against trees and stuff, or the poles, and they're trying to get that winter coat off. And because it gets hot, it's kind of miserable being with a heavy coat on. Today I had my Carhartt coat on over this little blue jacket I got. Actually, I think this blue jacket's a Carhartt too. Yeah, it is. But I called my big brown jacket my Carhartt coat. But anyway, I had to take it off because it's getting a little warm out here today. We kind of had a cool front come through, and yesterday it stayed in the 40s. Was for a high yesterday. We're forecasting in the 50s for here, but I think it's about 48 for the high. The wind was out of the north about 15-20 miles an hour, and it just didn't feel all that good. But today the temperature is much better. It's up around 60 degrees, but I had to shed a coat, and that's the same thing these cows have to do. They also get lice this time of the year, but once the temperature starts getting warm, the lice will die. These have not shown any lice signs, but I wormed them here the other day, and I also pour on warmer. I do a double warmer. If you've watched any of my warm videos, I give them a shot, and I do a pour on their back. And the reason for the pour on is to get rid of external parasites, and it helps even with the flies, but we do have a few flies trying to get started. That's one thing you don't ever have to worry about. You don't have to worry about killing out all the flies, because there's always plenty of seed crop left with the fly industry. This little heifer here, 722, she's a good little old looking little old heifer. They're all coming along pretty good, or I think they are. You know, every old farmer's always got the best. Whoever you talk to, his cows are the best looking, whatever. And I wouldn't say mine's the best looking, but they're the best of what I got to work with. And I tried to keep all black ones other than these Holsteins. They all pretty much are black this year, except for this one's got a little white under her there. And she has got some, she's Brangus. And some of these are mostly Angus, but a few of them are Brangus, and she's got Brangus, and her mama had some white like that. But if you take one to the sale like that, a lot of times they think you're bringing in one of them Longhorn or Mexican breeds, and they will dock you on that, and they'll be like, well, we don't want one of them things. And really this going to be a dandy here. But since they're heifers, I'm gonna keep them. One nice thing too about keeping heifers is you can always eat them if they end up that they're not going to make you mamas. You can turn around and take them to the butcher's house and butcher them, or you can sell them. And if they're not bred, I don't like to butcher one that's bred. I wouldn't want to do that, but I'm just counting them here: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them. But if you can always eat them, then there ain't, I think they taste the same as a steer. I can't tell any difference. I know there's a little size difference, a little weight difference, and they're sold to steers the same age as these, and they were bigger than the heifers. And I sold a couple or 3 heifers this year when I sold out that I didn't really want to keep, and they were lighter weighted than the steers, so there's a little bit in the weight difference. But if you're going to butcher one, I'd rather sell the one that's going to bring the most money, eat the one that bring the less money, especially if you can't tell no difference in the weight. But anyway, if these don't breed, we can always either sell them at the sale barn or have them ground up into hamburger meat, either way. But they're turning out pretty good here. And anyway, that's just a little update on my heifers this year. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're not a subscriber, if you'd subscribe, or give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Also, if you subscribe to our channel, if you'll click that little bell icon right there to the right of the subscribe button. After you subscribe, it'll notify you if when we do videos. And I'm trying to do a video just about every day. Sometimes I have a little trouble getting them uploaded. Just the goings on here of our homestead, what we're doing here. And right now we're in this crisis time of this plague that's up on us, but we're surviving and going, just really going pretty much about our daily routines. We weren't big world travelers or vacationers anyway, so we've had to close up here just a little bit tighter, and we're not going to church. That's one big thing we did, was go to church, you know, and the church is just right here, so we're just real close to our church, and we're used to going to that about 3 times a week. And that since we're not doing that, we're pretty much here, but we're getting a lot of stuff done. And I had showed these. Some have asked about the 2 dairy calves mainly. Some have asked about the heifers, how they were doing. So I thought while I had the opportunity and was out here with the camera, I'd just do a quick video, show you the heifers, how they're coming along. Things are doing good. We're wanting this grass to keep greening up. It's coming along really good. And the Bermuda grass is just getting started, and that's my main grass here. So if you look close in this, you'll see some Bermuda grass greening up, and it'll be another month or so before it really comes on. But we got clovers and other stuff coming on for them to eat. Thank the Lord. Anyway, we appreciate you watching. God bless you. We're gone.